Hey there, comic book fans. I am back from the comic shop this week, and I got 7 new comics plus the new Image Plus preview magazine with The Walking Dead Here's Negan Part 6. Haven't even flipped through this yet. It gives you previews and stuff. What is that? Motor Crush #1. I have to look at what this is. What did I get last week? I got 7 to Eternity #1, and I liked it, but it didn't make it on my pull list. You know, my pull list is pretty full right now, and I just added, what I add? Hillbilly and Kaiju Max and Britannia to my pull list. So, though I did enjoy the first issue of 7 to Eternity, just not enough that it would. I like those other ones better. So. 7 to Eternity didn't quite make the pull list, but, you know, who knows, maybe I'll be reading some of it in the future. But anyway, here's Image Plus, what is this, number 6, December 2016. And it looks like the fall is the time for things to come off hiatus, too, and come back. Here is a Deadly Class, issue number, what is this, 22? 22. Remender, Craig, and Boyd very much enjoy. The last issue of Deadly Class was, a shocker. And this issue, I guess we pick up the pieces and go on with the school year. But this is one of my top books. I've enjoyed the series from start to finish. It's got twists and turns and interesting writing, and I really like this artist, Wes Craig. I think he's a really, really good storyteller. He's got great page layout and stuff like that, and I'm glad Deadly Class is back. And here's another one back from hiatus. We got Wayward, issue number 16. Zub Cummings, Bonvillain, Dillon, Oregon. There, we give them all some sort of weird accent. This left off, geez, I can't even remember her name. Our main character there, who's, what is she, half Scottish and half Japanese, and spent the first 15 issues in Japan, somehow got magically transported by her father back to Scotland. We know nothing about. We just know her. You know, I think she doesn't get along with her father. I guess she knew nothing about him having magic powers, and she knew nothing about her having magic powers. So we'll have to see where this goes from here, because I'm not sure, since we're switching to another place in the world. But anyway, Wayward's been good. Like I said, the first 15 issues were all about Japan. I can't wait to see what it's about now. And here we go with Outcast, issue number 21 by Kirkman and Azaceta. That's right, I think last we knew he was being jumped by a bunch of those demon creatures, whatever the hell they are. Though I have to say, the last issue was a bit frustrating for me. Because up until maybe the last 2 issues, I think, our 2 main characters have been working together. The priest here and the other young guy who's in his 20s, I think, who somehow is the outcast and has some weird relationship with these demon creatures. But it was like they kind of split them up over the last 2 issues. And then the last issue was all about this guy searching for the other guy. So it was kind of like one of those TV episodes where the main character isn't in it, and you're waiting for the whole episode for the main character to get back in the story. It wasn't bad or anything. It was just a little frustrating, because I was like, "Where's the main guy? Let's see him." But anyway, Outcast continues to be good, so I'll continue to get it. And look at that, Saga is up to issue 38. Fiona Staples, Brian K. Vaughan. That's our little girl, whose name I don't even know. Damn, she's been the lead character narrating the story for 38 issues, and I can't think of her name. But anyway, like I said, I'm not as huge a fan of Saga as other people were, but I like it. To me, it's a solid B, and I'll take a solid B any day. I can't even remember what was going on in the story as of this moment. They were traveling around, having their saga. I think their ship was running out of fuel, so they had to stop somewhere to get fuel, and a whole bunch of these little critters showed up. I don't know what that all means, but I'll find out in this issue with Saga Chapter 38. And next we have Thief of Thieves, issue number 35. Diggle, Martinborough, and Lucas. Oh, what is that? What's going on there? There's two people fighting and falling, and he's running with the plans. It's a strange cover. I'm not sure what that's supposed to represent right there. But anyway, Thief of Thieves is always enjoyable to me. A caper book. Last issue, he had to steal some plans from somewhere. He got double-crossed by, or maybe just crossed. It wasn't a double-cross. He got crossed up by one of his rivals. Some billionaires started up this sort of championship between three great thieves, but they're really in it just for the thieves. Like our Thief of Thieves here really wasn't interested in proving himself to some championship, but since it was also all about stopping the world economy from collapsing, he joined on his own terms. So the three thief rivals are going at each other, trying to steal stuff to, I don't know, get some secret computer code. I forget what the MacGuffin is. But like I said, there's not many comic books that are caper books, and this is one of them, so I got it. And next we have Captain Kidd in issue number 2. See, but there's another book I just put on my pull list because I wanted to try out some Aftershock stuff, and Mark Waid's a solid writer. The first issue was pretty good to all set up this middle-aged guy who turns into a young superhero. He doesn't know, he's just been going around trying to help people out. He doesn't know his place in the world or why he's a superhero. I think at the end this woman showed up and said, "Stop fooling around, you're supposed to be working with us." And he was like, "Huh?" So, like I said, nothing nicely drawn. I really don't know what it's about yet, by Tom Payer, because besides a basic superhero story, because our lead character here, Captain Kidd, really doesn't know what he's about yet. So we'll see. Like I said, this is the second of the third of the Aftershock books I've put on my pull list to try out, and so far all three are pretty good. I think Aftershock's been putting out some good comics. I wish I could get them all, but I'll stick with Captain Kidd for now. And finally, for this week, the comic we have, another recent addition to my pull list, is Snot Girl, Brian Lee O'Malley and Leslie Hung, issue number 3. This was a surprise addition to my pull list because I didn't like the preview of it. I picked up the first issue on a whim because it was there and only $3, and I really liked it. I have to say, the entire issue was better than the 4-page preview I read of it. And Snot Girl really just refers to the fact that she has allergies. She doesn't have any snot superpowers or anything. And she really doesn't affect the story that much, except occasionally she has allergies. But she's a blogger, and I think there was a murder at the end of issue 1, and she might be a suspect, she might not be. They introduced a cop in issue 2. There's kind of a couple. She's got a running narration of her life, which is she's not happy with. It's hard to describe Snot Girl. It's a little bit of slice of life so far, a little bit of murder mystery. But like I said, this isn't even sort of the style of art I like. But the what's his name, Leslie Hung, his or her. Leslie is one of those names that could go either way. His or her art. The storytelling is really nice. I enjoy it thoroughly. And like I said, this was a surprise addition to my pull list, and a $2.99 book has a lot better chance of getting on than a $3.99 book like Seven to Eternity, so we'll stick with this one for now. Finally, we'll give you a little look at my background art. These are a couple of Dreams of Things covers I've done recently. This is number 11, which I had a number 11 already, but I didn't like it so much. And it just didn't come out the way I wanted it to. These are sort of my mod men character, I call them. They're both modular and modern. Just sort of a dreamlike picture there with 2 mod men and a giant head. And this is another one. This was 30, but I redid it. Matter of fact, I redid it with the one I showed you last week, just because there were, I don't know, something about the shapes just didn't work for me. Something like I said, I like that face, but the spirals don't quite work for me. These wings don't quite read as wings. I don't know what they read as. Like I said, you may like it, but I don't. That's what happens sometimes when you do something. I've done things and go, I really don't like this, and other people are like, well, I like it, fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm like, well, that's just because it didn't come out the way it was in my mind. It may, and that's what bothers me about it. So that's just the weirdness of making art. Sometimes it may be a perfectly okay piece, but if it's not the way it was in your mind, then it's not okay. But anyway, you guys have a good week out there.